In late February 2026, the Middle East faced one of the most serious military escalations in recent history. Tensions between Iran, Israel, and the United States had been building for years, but few expected how quickly the situation would explode into open conflict. Before the strikes began, intelligence agencies in both Israel and the United States claimed that Iran was expanding its missile program and moving closer to nuclear weapons capability. Iran repeatedly denied these accusations, saying its nuclear program was for peaceful purposes and national defense. Despite diplomatic talks and international pressure, the situation kept getting worse. Military forces across the region were placed on high alert. Warships moved into position, fighter jets were deployed to nearby bases, and satellite surveillance over Iran increased. Then, in the early hours of the night, everything changed. Dozens of aircraft and long-range missiles were launched in a coordinated operation targeting key locations inside Iran. Several Iranian cities reported powerful explosions almost at the same time. Air defense systems activated across the country as missiles and drones struck military bases, radar stations, missile facilities, and strategic command centers. Residents in multiple cities woke up to the sound of sirens and explosions. Videos began appearing online showing bright flashes in the sky and thick smoke rising from different parts of the country. Within minutes, the news spread across the world. Reports suggested that the strikes were carried out by Israeli forces with support from the United States. Advanced precision weapons were used to target facilities believed to be connected to Iran's military infrastructure. Some of the most significant targets included missile storage facilities, air defense systems, and command headquarters used by senior military leaders. Analysts said the goal of the operation was to weaken Iran's ability to launch large-scale missile attacks. The strikes also reportedly targeted locations connected to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, one of Iran's most powerful military organizations. Several senior commanders were believed to have been inside the targeted areas during the attacks. As explosions continued through the night, Iranian authorities confirmed that multiple sites had been hit. Emergency teams rushed to the affected locations, while military units were mobilized across the country. Within hours, Iran announced that it would respond. Missile units were activated, and large numbers of ballistic missiles and drones were launched toward Israeli territory and U.S. military bases in the region. Air defense systems in Israel quickly responded, intercepting many incoming missiles in the sky. Still, some projectiles managed to get through, causing damage and casualties. The situation quickly turned into a dangerous cycle of attack and retaliation. Military analysts warned that the conflict could expand into a wider regional war, involving other countries in the Middle East. At the same time, global leaders began calling for immediate de-escalation. The United Nations urged all sides to avoid further military action, warning that the conflict could destabilize the entire region. Another major concern was the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway through which a large portion of the world's oil supply passes. Iran signaled that it could disrupt shipping in the area if attacks continued, raising fears of a global energy crisis. As the situation unfolded, oil prices began rising sharply and international markets reacted with uncertainty. Inside Iran, the attacks caused widespread damage to military facilities and infrastructure. Emergency services worked around the clock, while citizens across the country followed the news with growing anxiety about what might happen next. Meanwhile, military forces across the Middle East were placed on alert, and several countries began preparing evacuation plans for their citizens. Experts warned that if the conflict continued to escalate, it could become one of the most serious wars in the region in decades. For now, the world watches closely as tensions remain extremely high, and the possibility of further strikes continues to loom over the Middle East.